everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to make these pumpkin pie slices perfect for the fall season. So stay tuned and I will show you how. Here are the things that I used: a 5-inch round cookie cutter and a 3-inch candy corn cookie cutter. Both are by Wilton. I'm using orange and ivory food coloring, also by Wilton. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut out my 5-inch round circle, and I put a little bit of flour on top of the circle so when I put my ruler on top it doesn't stick too much. You don't necessarily have to have this transparent one that I'm using. I just like using this one, but it is very helpful to have something straight like a ruler to help your pizza cutter go nice and straight. Cut it in between the center, thread it horizontally, put a line through there. These are going to be really tiny, but they're so adorable. So then one more time here in the center. See, really easy. So just take that extra step so you can get your nice, really crisp ends there. These are very small. They're about 2.5 inches. They're very small, so they're not going to take too long to cook or to bake. I'd say maybe 6-7 minutes. Just keep an eye on them so they don't burn. You don't have to wait till they get golden brown, but just keep an eye on them because they will burn really quickly because they're very small. I usually bake mine at 390. Like I said, for around 6-7 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. To get started on these really tiny pumpkin pie slices, I'm going to be using my toned down orange. Now, in order to get this almost like a pumpkin puree pie color, I use the 3-to-1 ratio, and that's 3 parts orange with 1 part of that beige. And what the beige will do is tone down or faint that orange, because we want it to look like it is a pumpkin pie and not a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin orange. So that beige does a beautiful job in toning that orange, that bright orange color. So go ahead and just fill in your cookie. Again, this is in egg tip number 2, and the consistency is a medium to flooding consistency. I like to keep the icing a little bit on the thicker side, not too runny, because I don't want my icing to flow to the sides. I like to, especially when I'm trying to keep this triangle shape, I want to make sure that it is a little bit thick, so I can move it around with my tool and help keep its shape. So go ahead and fill in your little triangle and then smooth your icing out. Alright, so once you are done with all of these, go ahead and set them aside and let them dry for an hour and a half, and then you can move on to the rest of the detail. Now, if you're thinking these are too small, because they're really tiny, they're probably like a 2-biter, they're really small, you can go a little bit larger, and I do recommend just using a candy corn cookie cutter. This is the same one that I used in my last month's videos. So there's another cookie that you can use with that cutter. All I did was just fill out the triangle just like I did here. I did use a tip 4 opposed to a tip 2 because it is larger. And once I get to the other 2 decorations that I'm going to be adding on here, I'll let you know what sizes I'm going to be using for them up here. And then at the end, I'll just show you both of them. And once they're done, and then you can decide whether you want to go with the larger cookie or with the tiny smaller ones that are a little bit more bite-sized. Either one, and you can mix and match and have a whole bunch of them. This is just another easier option. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest. Again, let them dry and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so this had time to dry. So I have here a Wilton Tip 101, and what I'm going to do is use the larger wider part of the tip towards the outer edge of the cookie and the thinner part towards the icing. And this is in a somewhat medium consistency. You have to have it somewhat medium so it could stay. And then just wiggle it up and down as you move it across your cookie from left to right, just up and down, and then bring it down. And just kind of move that in so it doesn't dry sticking up. Really, really simple. Do it one more time. Outer thicker part towards the edge, thinner part towards the icing, up and down, and taper down, clean that up. And that's it. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the white part, but I'm going to switch my tip so I can do the larger one as well. So I'm going to do that really quick right now. Okay, so I switched my 101 to a 104. It's a lot bigger. I just suggest your icing to be a little bit thicker. I'm not switching my icing, I just switched my tip, but I did see that the icing was coming out, flowing a little bit too much, so I do recommend making it a little bit thicker for this one because the icing will come out a lot more because of the opening. Luckily it's still holding its shape, but I don't suggest you tapping it like this, like normally, to smooth the icing out, or you'll lose the ripple effect. So I just thought I'd let you know because I was noticing that it wasn't really holding that shape as much as I would like it to. It was kind of smoothing out as I was going along. So if you want to do the larger ones, do try to make your icing a little bit on the thicker side. Alright, so let me just go ahead and move on. The bottom part thicker, the top part thinner. So keep the thinner part towards the icing and then just wiggle up and down, left to right, and then just taper down, clean that up, and that's pretty much it. Really easy, right? So I'm going to go ahead and prepare my white icing, and again I'm going to use 2 different tips, and I'll let you know that in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Alright, so now with a star tip, this is a Wilton 16. I'm going to go ahead and put my icing on. This is a pretty thick consistency. And what I want to do is, as I pipe, lift up and down really quick. So squeeze up and down, up and down, up and down. And what this does is it gives it texture and it looks like it's canned whipped cream. So it does give it a more realistic look than just having to squeeze it and it'll give you just a star shape. I did try some with the star shape and I wasn't really feeling it. It doesn't look bad. It's actually, you know, just pretty normal. But I noticed that as I used the up and down motion, it gave me a more realistic whipped cream that comes out of the can. So I decided to stick to that design. So again, just go ahead and squeeze and lift up and down as you squeeze, just like that. So I'll go ahead and finish up the rest. I'm gonna switch my tip and I'm gonna go ahead and do the larger ones. Alright, so I switched it to a tip 21, and again, same technique. You're gonna squeeze, and as you go up, squeeze up and down, and that gives you a nice little swirl. It looks like a swirl, and you can do it like that too, but I think this looks way more original, like the spray canned whipped cream. So go ahead again, squeeze up and down, and there you have it. Super, super easy. And it looks, oh my goodness, it looks like real whipped cream. It's so yummy. Oh my goodness. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and let these dry. They'll become matte. I'm going to put them all together and that'll be all. Alright guys, so there you have your pumpkin pie slices. I hope you like how they turned out. Super easy to do. So decide whether you want to go with the little bite-sized one. This takes a little bit, you know, more effort to make because you have to do the cutting. And then the larger one here, which is not too large, is a regular size 3-inch cookie. This is perfect because you only have to cut out your candy corn shaped cookie. So it's pretty simple to make. You can package these in a little box and send them with your child to give to their teachers or to share with their classmates. We're having these for after Thanksgiving dinner. Put them in a platter, have your guests grab one and have with hot chocolate or coffee or tea. The kids can dip these in milk. They taste so delicious. They almost taste like vanilla ice cream when you dip them in milk. Really good. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And have a good one.